In today's video, I want to talk to you about reviews, but I don't want this to be some long drawn out video because I don't think it needs to be. What I'm going to share with you is super simple and it's super basic, but it's also something that can be super powerful. And I want to get into that right now. So I got an iPad here with some notes. We're just going to go through this super quickly, but I hope by the end you will know how you can rank on Google. And it's way simpler than a lot of us make it out to be or have made it out to be. And also a good warning in here about something called review gating that you need to stay away from. And I'll show you how to do that too. So getting right into it, why? Why Google reviews? Why focus on this? So the biggest reason is simple. It helps you make more money because twofold. Number one, you get more customers. And number two, all of these reviews, whether they're posted on Google's platform, on Google search, or on your website, they're going to boost conversions. People are going to trust you more. So you're going to have more social proof, and that's going to draw more people to convert. Okay, so going into more detail, let's jump into this screen here. So we're looking at what do we do? So how do we actually do this? And then I want to help you see that there's some cool quick wins here for you also. So when you log into Stoke Leads, you're going to come to this dashboard and you go to settings and reputation and then settings, and you'll see we're going to go down these. So first thing you want to do is set it to respond. So the AI will automatically respond to all reviews that come from Google. So that's amazing. And you can have it set to where it responds after a few hours or days. So now you have an actively engaged Google business profile, which that's important for Google to see that you're active. Another little pro tip here, use the keywords that you want to rank for in local SEO in your responses. So that'll help just you rank for those key terms. Okay, so now we'll go through these. You're going to get a review link and it'll look like the actual link. So let me pull this up here so you can see what I mean. So you want to pull up the actual link where they can rate you and write something because you want to remove all friction. You don't want people having to find where is the write a review link and all that. Do what you can to make it as easy as humanly possible because I'm telling you, even though you think that your business is the most important in people's lives, believe me, it's not. It's their business or what they're doing personally. They're not super concerned about whether or not you get your review. So that's the first thing. Set that up. Next, you're going to look at, there's two ways to request the reviews. You could do it manually, but you can also set up automations. So the first one is we're setting up the actual language here, but you can have it go out in Stoke Leads. You can have these custom variables where you can click on there and you can say, I want it to say, hey, first name, would you recommend us? And then the review link will go automatically to that same spot that we were just at where it pulls up the write a review. So that's email template, or SMS template. And then you have the email template, similar concept. This first one that goes out, it looks like this for me. So it's got a, would you recommend us? Yes, I'd totally recommend. And then it has a GIF. I think that this, I don't have any hard evidence on this, but it seems like it's harder to be like a party pooper and someone sends you something like this and you don't leave a review. Would you just kind of feel bad? Because I think that sending the meme or the GIF, it just is like, hey, we're friends. That's the kind of the message you're sending. And then if their response is ignoring you, they're going to feel the sense of that law of reciprocity where it's like, hey, you're making me laugh. You're making me feel like a friend. I need to return the favor. So I don't know if that's the right psychology, but that's why that's set up. Then you can have it set up to automatically repeat. So you can have it to where you keep asking. I wouldn't overdo this, but you can see like you can schedule this to where you're following up with people and they will need a few attempts, even well-meaning friends and people with good intentions. They still just, for whatever reason, it just gets lost in their daily chaos. So just keep that in mind, that not to take it personally. Just this isn't even enough. Probably you probably want one text and then a couple automated emails, and if someone you're expecting a review from someone in particular, reach out to them and kind of hound them until you get it. And then if you do WhatsApp, you can connect that and get reviews through that, requesting them through that. QR code. This is good for brick and mortar companies. You want to post a QR locally at the desk or somewhere in your sales process. This is good if you have to do face-to-face transactions with customers. They're just so much more likely to engage with this QR code. So you could just create one right there, boom, print it out. Spam reviews, I always put this on. It automatically detects those. And then integrations, so you can post this anywhere where you can integrate reviews and start collecting reviews from those platforms. However, for most local businesses that I'm dealing with, Google is the most important. Yelp is something that I think every home service company probably hates, but they are the most searched on Apple Maps on an iPhone. So it's worth not having a horrible Yelp. So and I think Yelp is notorious for getting lots of low reviews. So what you can really do is, once your Google's fully filled up to where you're way ahead of the competition, you can try to funnel some of those reviews over and balance it out and get some from Yelp, just so you don't have a bad perception from iPhone search. So that's it. Another amazing thing is you can go to the social planner and you can post those reviews to your social media as they come in. So the way this would work is you would say new post reviews. And then from here, we could say, all right, I want to post anything from, let's say, 4 and above or 5 stars. I'm going to post it to my different social media accounts automatically. And I want to do this. It says maximum number of posts. So you could do every day or every week. So we could say, like, I want to do this, 5 times a week. So pretty much once a day. And then when you go, so all the Google reviews, that's what that's saying. You could do Facebook too, by the way. So you go here and then you say, I want it. This is just what the background would look like. So let's say we want to do that. And then this is what it would look like right here. So, and it shows you a preview of each account and what that review is going to look like there. So this is a powerful way for you to get the word of mouth out, exposed to the public so that people can see that you're doing a good job. Here's what I've noticed. So many of the small businesses I work with, they're content to just get reviews. You can't just get reviews. You have to share reviews. You have to almost like broadcast reviews. This is one part of that. But another part is putting it in your sales process, like weaving it into the language on your website or in emails or however you can let your customers speak for you. That's going to be a good thing. 2 things to say on this. Number 1, is if you study great copywriters, they'll talk about something called voice of customer or VOC copywriting. And that means that if you really want resonance when you're trying to convert customers, you can't just give them the ideas you think are important or clothe your ideas in the words that come to you naturally. You need your customers to speak about their pains and their problems and their struggles and their joys and their victories through your product or service. The reason is because of resonance. When you say something, it kind of deflects off of them. It doesn't hit the same way. But if they say something, the language they're using, it makes the customer believe, okay, that's the detail I'm looking for. I'm going to go with that. Okay, so that's voice of customer. And the second thing that I wanted to say about that is when you get that voice of customer, you can put it on your website. So if I go back here, you will see we have a widget here. And this shows you that you can embed your reviews on your website and they will automatically update every time a new review comes in. So you can start to build this wall of love where all of the customers' reviews that are 5 stars or 4 stars and above automatically show up on your website. All you do is you get the embed code here or give it to your web developer, put it on your site, and they automatically populate every time a new review comes in. Your website reflects that. Beautiful, because not everybody's going to be thumbing through your reviews on Google. But if they're scouring around and kind of stalking you on your website, what better way to make an imprint and to build social proof than to have your customers sell your service for you? Nothing like it. So this brings me to the last point, which is what not to do. You do not want to get lost doing a bunch of stuff for SEO for your company. There's so many things you could talk about with SEO, but by and large, most of it doesn't matter. If you can just get reviews, this is going to represent like 80%. I'm just giving a number. This is conjecture, but 80% of your effectiveness for ranking in Google will come from good, frequent 5-star Google reviews. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is that you don't want to do what's really common nowadays, which is review gating. And I'm going to bring up another graphic on here so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's pull up this one right here and show you this image. So this right here is a process known as, I mean, it's getting reviews, but I want to show you what's going on here. This is very common. I used to teach people to do this too. So at the top, how'd we do? They had an experience with your company. How'd we do? Anyone that scores it 3 or below, they get funneled to the left, which is an internal messaging, and you're basically review gating at this point. So you're saying like all the negative feedback gets funneled internally. We'll deal with it. It won't be public, and it's protecting your business's reputation. If they get 4 or 5 stars, they get sent out to a Google review link. Now, if you research this, it will show up as this is review gating, which is against Google's terms, but it's so common. And in some ways, it doesn't seem that wrong. Like if you look at this on the surface, I don't think it's that wrong, because you're going to fix the problems and then you're going to, you're going to publish and promote the good reviews. However, I could see from the research I've done that this could actually be considered review gating. One small tweak, and I think you can make this compliant. So all you need to do is just send everybody, instead of saying how'd we do and then splitting them off, what if you said how can we improve, and every single person gets the same message, how can we improve? And let me draw this for you, because this will be, I think this will be pretty straightforward and easy to understand. So I have this here, so you can see I've got the question, how can we improve, right here. And then you have issues on this side over here, and then no issues right here. If there are no issues going down this way, you send them straight to a Google review. If there are issues, you go down one by one and you fix them until there are no issues, and then you send them over to the Google review link. It's so simple. And this is just good, systematic customer service. This is going to lead to getting not just better reviews and not having all of these published publicly, but also being able to say you're compliant with Google's policies. So that's why we call it the fireproof feedback, because you're getting more reviews, you're improving your system, and you're avoiding the negative publicity of having a bad business that's not committed to improvement. So anyway, that's it. I hope this is super helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, but hopefully this was simple enough to where it makes sense. All right, take care.